好，那我们今天继续讨论五灯是第15组迦那提婆尊者。第一页，欣然契会 understood the hint happily. Venerable was from South India, family name Vesala. He at first was seeking reward deeds and enjoyed debating. Later he visited great man Nagarjuna. While he was just at the door, Nagarjuna knew he was a wise man, so asked his attendant to put a bowl full of water in front of his seat. Venerable saw it, then threw a needle into the water, understood the message happily. 第二段 Master shows the Buddha nature. Nagarjuna then told him the enlightenment methods and showed the full moon phenomenon without leaving his seat. Disciples could only hear his voice but could not see his body. Venerable said to others, "This auspicious phenomenon is Master showing us the Buddha nature. It is to let us know that the enlightenment methods are not by way of voice and visibility."
法表示说法非声色，
表示
it is less known 说法 the enlightenment method are not by way of voice and visible. OK， 可以往下。
生菌入耳 wood ear fungus. After inherited the lineage, Venerable arrived at Tripitaka. There was a senior called Vamijunda. One day, a wood in the garden grew out fungus with a shape like a human ear. Tasted delicious, but only the senior and his second son could pick and eat them. It grew back after picking. No other relatives could see it. Venerable knew its past cause, so went to this home. The senior asked the reason.
对，往下。
第四段 Venerable said, "You used to making offerings to a monk, but this monk was not enlightened and was wrongfully getting your faith and offerings. So he reincarnated into the wood ear. You and your son made offerings to him diligently, so you can enjoy it. Others cannot." Venerable asked, "How old are you?" Answered, 17 plus 9.
这边用的豹尾木菌啊 ，reincarnate 是吧？这表示什么意思？
就是他就又生，就是 incarnate 就是生成了木耳了。So he
不是这个比丘变成木耳，是这个比丘为了报答你，就变了很多的木耳来供养你，来回报你们。
哦，是这意思啊！我以为这比丘死了之后，就变成木耳了。
哎，他怎么变成木耳，对不对？他就是用这个木耳来回报他。
哦 ，OK。
是不是这个意思？你再仔细读一下。
故以须瞻悉曾供养，
豹尾木菌。
豹尾木菌。但如果我觉得就是这比丘死了之后，生成木耳了，
变成木耳。
不然这比丘哪有这本事？邹黑，那就是说，如果他豹尾木菌，那怎么说呢？ So he rewarded you with
讲的含蓄
this.
就不要说他就直接变成木耳了，这个
Okay.
很多人可能没办法接受。
好吧。So he rewarded you with this wood ear.
对，这样就很含糊了嘛。
好吧，这样对，跟原句也比较适合。好，谢谢老师。5. 随时出家 become a disciple of Venerable. Venerable then said the words, learning the enlightenment methods, but did not fully understand it. So 复身还信师。So pay back the faith and offerings. So later pay back the faith and offerings. When you are 81, this tree will not grow here anymore. Senior heard the words, admired Venerable even more, so said, I'm old, cannot serve you, Venerable. I'd like my second son to become a disciple of your Venerable.
可以往下。
第6段，欲障佛法。Venerable said, thus coming, acknowledge this son, that in the second 500 years, he will be the great master of the enlightenment teachings. Now we meet, it fits the past course. Then cut his hair and let him be his attendant. They then arrived at Pataliputra and heard there were lots of outsiders who wanted to block the enlightenment methods spreading, and planned it for a long time. Venerable then took a long flag and stepped into the crowd.
Okay.
I don't have self. They asked the Venerable, why don't you step forward? Venerable said, why don't you fall back? They said, you look like a low-level person. Venerable said, you look like a good man. They said, what do you understand? Venerable said, you don't understand anything. They said, I want to achieve Buddhahood. Venerable said, I have already achieved Buddhahood. They said, you cannot achieve Buddhahood. Venerable said, I actually did. You did indeed didn't. They said, you didn't get it. Why do you say you get it? Venerable said, you have attachment to self, so you cannot achieve it. I don't have the self, so I could get it. They couldn't say more words, so asked Venerable, what is your name? Venerable said, I am Kanadeva. They've known Venerable name, so showed Venerable their regret and respect. There is still some tried to debate with Venerable. Venerable subdued them with impeded eloquence, so they were all submitted. Venerable passed on the enlightenment methods lineage to his primary disciple, Rahuradra, and said words, it is only to the successor that I see the liberation methods. The methods cannot be proved, as it has no beginning nor end.
The method cannot be proved,
这个我也想了半天，怎么正应该是用 awaken， 但是说法 cannot be awakened 也不对，我们就说 awaken 的这个法嘛，所以应该可以 awaken 的。他这个无正的意思，其实就是说法本来就在那里，不是说你正不正就怎么样。
对对，就是这个意思。
可是也不能说我们不能正，我们还是
是不是 the method do not need to be approved？ 不要说 cannot be approved， 这不需要证。
这个好，对。Do not need to be，
就不需要去证，而不是说 cannot be proved， 是吧？
对对对 ，OK， 对，您说的对。Do not need to be approved。哦，你说对，谢谢谢谢。对，好，下一段身放八光。Afterwards, Venerable entered the swift samadhi. His body emitted 8 kinds of light, nirvana. His disciple built a pagoda for offerings. It was Qian Han dynasty. Emperor Wen Houyuan 3 year. 耿陈 BC 161。
OK， 好，谢谢，这一段结束。
好，谢谢老师。